Coming up,
we want to give you guys something a little bit more challenging that you don't do naturally.
personal trainer Martin Gelbspan levels up last week's mobility training. This is not for beginners. Luckily, personal trainer Morgan Shapiro does have something for beginners that can be done anywhere with just a resistance band. Plus, we'll help you keep your financial health in order, and I'm at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show today on SoFlo Health. If you like being out on the water, you're in for a treat today. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie and this is the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. We've got super yachts, water sports, toys, you name it. It's all going to be on today's episode, so stay with us. And later, I'll be on this floating resort. But first, you got to watch this and I'll see you in the convention center. Okay, here they are, Kate and Martin, as promised. Last time you saw us, we were on the rooftop. We were doing some mobility exercises and showing you the difference between flexibility and mobility. So now we're taking it up to the next level. All right, so what's happening today?
All right, so this is definitely going to be for the people that are accustomed to moving their body a little bit more frequently. Or if you've started doing the mobility stuff and you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, we're going to do some traveling mobility movements.
Okay, so everything we did before was stationary in one place and moved around some, of course, because it's mobility, but we're now actually going to be moving in space.
Yeah, so we're kind of going to be applying the mobility that we're gaining from the other exercises with a little bit more strength.
Great.
So it's going to require upper body strength, it's going to require lower body strength to do these movements.
Excellent. Let's get started. What's next?
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to travel this way. Okay, so if you want to
I'll come over there.
Yeah. So let's do that. So you guys are going to go into a deep squat. Yeah. So you're going to need obviously a lot of strength at the shoulder to be able to do this movement, but more importantly, hip strength to be able to get back into that squat. Okay? So little by little, you can start to bring your feet further forward past your hands. We're working on all the mobility through your toes, ankle, knee, hip, and also the spine. So,
all right, so I'll give it a shot.
We're going to try it with you right now.
Here we go. So I'm starting down like this.
When you first start, chest up.
Chest up.
You're going to bring your hands right here, and then eventually you can start to jump into it. There we go, chest up, good.
Come up.
Go forward, good. Try to leave your hips a little bit lower when you jump forward. So bring your knees forward as you go. There we go, there we go, good.
Oh, that's worse.
So that starts working, right? The knee joint, the hip joint a little bit better. There we go. Now see if your feet can pass your hands when you go down. There we go. So now you might start to feel your lower back a little bit, right?
Oh, dude, I feel everything.
So it starts to.
I actually feel it the most right, like at
And your
where my
hip flexors.
Yes, my hip flexors where my legs meeting the rest of my body.
Right. So it's definitely something new. We want to give you guys something a little bit more challenging that you don't do naturally, which is moving and rotating as you're moving laterally.
Right. So I come down into a squat
Go
first.
down into a squat, and you're going to place left hand right by the right foot.
Yep.
And then I want you to bring your heels up. Heels up and bring your hands a little bit further forward.
Okay.
And then this hand right here, you're gonna jump into the left foot right next to there we go. And then reach as much as you can. There we go. Now you're gonna bring your hands up, sit back into your heels, and transition. There we go. And now keep going. And do one more.
So now same thing?
Same thing.
But I
Left
stay
hand
up
down.
this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I couldn't go.
There we go. And then reach just a little bit more.
So for me, my left foot wants to like flare out, so I have to fight that.
You want to fight that a little bit. Now do it one more time. Left hand down and take a big step. There we go. Chest up. Good. And now let's bring it back. Let's do a couple more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. For those of you that are like, we see a lot of what we do on the show, and you're like, okay, yeah. This is a good one.
When you're doing these big strength exercises where you feel tight, you can couple them with these exercises to relieve a little bit of that tension.
Yeah. Well, Kate, Martin, thank you so much. Kate, I think we did a great job. I think we should make him do some of these now. Yeah, we'll make him do some of these. Thank you both so much for spending some time with us, fighting through the rain, the construction, and being out here at the Loop Garage. We really appreciate it. Yep, of course. Isn't this great? Now we're inside of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show Convention Center, and whether you like boating, yachting, water sports, tech, there's something here for you. And I don't know anything about boats, but I sure do like being on them. Well, make sure you're staying with us because later on we'll link up with SoFlo H2O host Olivia Ray and find out what she has coming up on an episode of SoFlo H2O. In the meantime, watch this. I've got boats to look at. Here on SoFlo Health, we don't only look out for your physical health and your mental health, we also look out for your financial health. That's why I'm here at Tax File to meet with Ricky, who you've seen before if you've been watching for a long time, to talk about a very exciting topic, taxes. Well, you'll see why. Today we're going to talk about taxes because that's kind of what you do.
That's what we do.
So what do people need to know about what's coming up with all of these IRS agents they've been hearing about? It sounds a little scary. Should they be scared?
The short answer is no. If you have your books in order, you're able to keep track of your expenses and all the money you made throughout the year, right? You should be good, but you got to remember to pay your taxes and file for the civil.
Yeah, and if you're an employee, it's a little bit easier than people that run their own business. But here in Miami, in the South Florida area, a lot of people have multiple things that they're doing. They might be an employee somewhere. They might be 1099. What should they keep in mind if that is the case?
So if you picked up like a side hustle, okay, you definitely got to keep track of all your income. So usually you're going to get a 1099 throughout the year, right? Whether it's from Uber, from Instacart, whatever company it is, 1099, you got to file it. Right? Make sure you track how much you're making. And then once you do that, then you could kind of determine, okay, well, I was working the side hustle for the majority of the year, right? The year's broken into quarters, right? Q1, 2, and 3, right? And the IRS assesses, okay, well, if you're 1099, unlike a W-2, right? They're not withholding any taxes from you, right? You got to pay something. You got to pay up. And that's a big kind of difference between someone that's been an employee, right, for the majority of their career, that's now just doing a side hustle, right? That's a big difference, right? So you have to be responsible for getting those taxes paid on a quarterly basis.
And there's a lot of people recently that may have been affected by Hurricane Ian, or maybe their side hustle is on the West Coast. Is there anything that they should know about losses they may have sustained there or business over on the West Coast?
Yeah, so the IRS is actually going to be helping out a little bit here. They're extending the tax filing deadline from October 15th to February 15th if you're affected. You could go on irs.gov and see if you qualify, and if you do, essentially what that means is you have a little bit more time to get all your losses in order and kind of aggregate, what damages you have, and you could file February 15th.
Before I let you go, tell us a little bit about TaxFile and how they can learn more.
Sure, so you can go to taxfile.com. Essentially, we are the Uber for the tax filing world, okay? We have thousands and thousands of IRS enrolled agents and CPAs on demand. They could download the TaxFile app, and hopefully if you're one of those side gig workers and you need a little bit of help and you don't want to do your taxes yourself, you go to TaxFile to get it done.
And it's probably best if you've got a lot going on that you let a professional take care of.
For sure, yeah.
All right, well, Ricky, thank you so much. And you heard the man. Get everything together. Make sure that you have it all in order because they did hire more agents, which means that you need to be responsible. Still ahead, a car that turns into a boat, a super yacht, and a bike that glides on the water when SoFlo Health returns.
Focusing on you from your team of experts at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, South Florida's only National Cancer Institute designated cancer center.
When Lori Weinstock was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, she was in complete shock.
I'm not a smoker, and I got lung cancer.
Dr. Estela Mari Rodriguez, a thoracic oncologist at Sylvester, says they're seeing an alarming rise in the number of non-smokers diagnosed with lung cancer.
About 10 to 20% of patients that get diagnosed with lung cancer have never smoked. And we're seeing a rapidly growing group of younger patients that are being diagnosed with lung cancer. And some of these lung cancers are very specific. They have genetic mutations that drive those changes.
Sylvester's team approach includes comprehensive biomarker testing of every patient's tumor to determine if there's a mutation that will respond to targeted therapy.
And right now, there's about 10 of them that have FDA-approved indication treatments that work better than chemotherapy, that these are specific treatments that target those genetic drivers.
Dr. Rodriguez tested Lori's tumor, revealing a genetic mutation which could be treated with targeted therapy. Lori takes 1 pill a day and her tumors have shrunk. Now she's spending time with her family and raising funds for lung cancer research. She's thankful to Dr. Rodriguez and the entire Sylvester team.
Their compassion, their care, Sylvester has been amazing.
I'm still at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and we've seen a lot today. We've seen boats, water sports, things to do, and in fact, I'm supposed to meet a friend right here at the Aqua Zone at the pool, but let's see. Hey, Olivia, are you? Oh. There she is, of course.
I'm pulling right up on my new favorite toy here.
Yes. Oh,
we're going to try and stop.
You got
Hopefully I don't hit you off.
So tell me, as you're floating away, what are you doing here?
So right now we are filming our holiday show for SoFlo H2O. We have another episode coming up, and obviously everything that has to do with water. So we had to come to the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show.
Yes, and it seems like you've got the hang of this thing. So tell me, what are you on right now?
This is the water bike at Nautical Ventures. It's honestly pretty easy to get a hang of, but they're one of those places that has all of the water toys that you're going to need, from sea bobs to this to paddle boards and everything in between. And that's kind of what the show is all about, because you know we're in South Florida. We have a lot of people that love being on the water, so you kind of want these fun things. Yeah, you might remember the last time that we saw Olivia, we were at Red Bike, and she was on a bike with me on a roof. This time she's on a bike on the water in a convention center. We're just changing the scenery.
We're changing the scenery.
It is. We're going to keep it going. We have to find the next spot.
Yeah, so, I mean, you gave us a little bit of a preview. What do we expect from your show coming up in December?
So the nice thing about it is you do have a lot of people here in South Florida, you know, whether it's parents, you know, kids, everything, that like to be on the water, and you never know what to get them. So we're going to show you all of the gifts, from fishing lures to super yachts that you can get and everything in between. So our show is kind of that one-stop shop for everything that you're going to want to put on your Christmas list.
It's perfect timing for the holidays. Of course, SoFlo H2O being the show about everything on the water. And she's even working out on the water.
We're showcasing it right now.
Yep, she's working out on the water. She's on boats and everything else. So, Olivia, is there anything else we need to know about your show coming up?
Just to tune in, and I'm going to keep enjoying this water bike so I can tell you a little bit more about it in December.
Yes, so, of course, you can follow Olivia Ray. You can follow SoFlo H2O, and we'll tell you again here on SoFlo Health. Olivia, thank you so much. I think I'll see you on a yacht later. How about that?
Yes, super yacht.
I'll see you there.
Well, it's that time of year when, if you're a senior yourself or if you have seniors in your house, you're getting bombarded with mail regarding open enrollment. Well, open enrollment for what? I'm here at My Care Medical with James. James, open enrollment, who's that for?
Open enrollment is for anybody that's on Medicare or Medicare Advantage, and what it's designed to do is allow them the opportunity to make a change to their insurance plan or their provider at this given time, October 15th through December 7th.
And who is My Care Medical for?
My Care Medical is primarily for seniors. We are a primary care medical group, which means you come in and you see our provider and we coordinate all of the care for you.
I'm hearing about these My Care moments.
Yeah, so we've redesigned our onboarding process to make sure that there are wow moments there where the patient is engaged with the doctor. Each one of our clinics has that kind of a mindset. Let's create a memorable and engaging process that allows the patient to feel welcomed and it's part of a family. And so My Care Moments are differentiation in the marketplace of how we stand out in the Medicare Advantage space and with seniors in Medicare Advantage.
How can we find out more about this?
Certainly, you can come and visit us on our website, mycaremedicalgroup.com. Our number will probably be at the bottom of the screen. You can visit us on Facebook. Importantly, you can come by any of our clinics. There's always a schedule of events that are going on, and you can just walk in and ask for a tour. We'll give you a tour, introduce you to the staff and the doctor, and you can ask any questions you like. That's the most important part of actually choosing a provider, visiting the clinic and talking to the staff.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Isn't this great? So much to see, so much to do. And we've seen Olivia Ray and what she likes to do out here on these boats. And of course, SoFlo H2O. It makes plenty of sense to be at the boat show. But you might be thinking at this point, Hunter, what the heck are you doing here? This is SoFlo Health. What does this have to do with health? Well, if you're on a kayak like this one that you can power with your legs or with the motor, or you can row, or you can even fish on it. We like it when you're outside, moving and living your life. The other thing about being out on the water is that you get that nice sunshine for vitamin D. You can relax and de-stress. In fact, you can even entertain yourself on some sort of pole for entertainment. Personal trainer Morgan Shapiro has a simple exercise to help you strengthen that midsection after the break on SoFlo Health. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and I'm at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show inside the Panther XL. And you might say, Hunter, why the heck are you in a car at the boat show? Well, it's not exactly that. Watch this. Once I press this button, suddenly, I'm on my way to be becoming a boat. And here's what's great about this. Hold on one second. And now we're in boat mode. While you're on the road, you're officially and legally a car. But when you're in the water, you're legally a boat. You can gas up by the water or on the road. Probably cheaper to do so at your regular gas station, and you can do so there. Once you're done with your day's festivities, all you have to do is go home, park in your driveway, and rinse it off. You can park in any parking space because it's legally a car. What a great ride. All right, that's all I have here. You watch this. I'm at Legacy, the Pembroke Pines location, and I'm joined by personal trainer Morgan Shapiro. She's going to show us something that I don't really do that often, so you're going to see a new one along with me, and that's called the Paula Press,
yes,
right?
It is the Paula Press, and I'm coming at you again with more bands.
We love it.
We love the bands.
So what do we do?
So we are going to tie it to something. This could be a piece of gym equipment, a pole, a door handle, whatever you have access to, and we're going to set it up around like your rib cage is kind of where you want to tie to. So Hunter's a little bit taller than me, I'd say. So maybe we're like about here. I'd say that looks pretty good. All right, so now you're going to take this band, and since it's to the right of you, you're going to start with your right hand, and then you're going to cup it with your left.
Okay.
So right hand scooping in first, left hand over, and now I want you to bring it to the center of your chest.
Where should I be facing?
So you're facing straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead. So now bring the bands to the center. So this is really going to work our core and specifically anti-rotation. The core has many functions. One of them is to resist rotation, right? So I want you to press the arm straight forward. And then you're going to bring it back in. And as you can see, when you pressed forward, you kind of was like, oh, to the right. So that's exactly what we want right here. We're resisting that rotation. This is really great for the core, all the stabilizer muscles. I want you to make sure you're breathing while you do it. And as you press out, you can actually give me a big breath. Yeah, good. So you kind of press out with power, and take a second, hold, tightening everything, and then bring it right back in slow and controlled. Again, Hunter is a natural and is doing phenomenal, but what a lot of people do when they do this exercise is they press out and they let it bring them to the right. They let the band pull them. So another way to kind of control that is to play with the distance that you are close to it or further apart. Of course, if you're further away from it, it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to pull you a little bit more, which could be a good thing if you're able to control that motion. And he also naturally got into what I like to call the power stance. That's another thing I want you to be mindful of. You've been working out for so long, I think it's just natural
normal,
to you.
Yeah.
But
athletes will do it too. Anybody that's played a sport.
Athletic stance, there's many names for it, but a lot of people will start off locking out their knees. Maybe they stand with their legs together. We don't want that. We want the feet roughly shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. You're always tucking the glutes under, bracing the core to then properly press the band out. And he's looking pretty good to me. What are you feeling?
Yeah, you know, before we started rolling here, we were running through a little bit of a practice, and I was like, I don't really feel too much. But now I do feel it kind of like my body wants to go this way, but after holding it, even just for, 2 minutes, however long we've been here, just the holding it part adds a little bit of tension, and then the press takes it to the next spot. And I think the press actually helps give you the cue that you're to stabilize, because as you start to lose your leverage, as your arms get farther away from you, it wants to go this direction.
Absolutely.
Which could
you're resisting
happen.
rotation. Yeah. And then of course, make sure you switch sides and you do the other side. And you may notice that one side's a little bit harder than the other, like we always say on the show. More the reason that we train one side than the other to help even out some of those imbalances. So.
Yep. If you have a band, give it a shot at home. Meanwhile, I'm going to do the other side. This is probably the part you've all been waiting for. I certainly have, and that's being aboard a super yacht here in Super Yacht Village. This is the Coral Ocean, and boy, is it spectacular. I'm going to take a look around and get comfortable while you watch this. If you haven't noticed already, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show has a little something for everyone. As far as your health is concerned, you can get moving on a water bike like Olivia, paddle or pedal a kayak, or take a leisurely cruise on one of the many boats on display. We even saw a boat with a built-in accessibility ramp for those that need mobility assistance, or your dogs. There were toys, tech, and too many boats to count. Fort Lauderdale's 165 miles of navigable waterway make it the perfect setting for the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, which is the largest in-water boat show in the world. Speaking of in-water, I'm on a boat. Yep, sure is tiring hard work here at the boat show. So much so that I needed to take a break and ponder where the word yacht even came from. And I found out. But do you know the answer? Which of these 4 countries is the origin for the word yacht? Is it A, Spain, B, Italy, C, Norway, or D, the Netherlands? The answer after the break, right here on SoFlo Health. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie aboard a super yacht at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. And before the break, I left you with a question. Which of these 4 countries is the country of origin for the word yacht? If you said the Netherlands, you would be correct. It originally meant pirate ship, then hunting ship, and now it's just expensive ship. Speaking of expensive, SoFlo Home Project host and design expert Elena Capra is at Vizcaya. Hey Elena, what's going on later today on SoFlo Home Project?
Hi Hunter, so today we are coming to you from the beautiful Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. Coming up later today on SoFlo Home Project, we take a look at the monumental task of what it took to create this beautiful European-style villa.
Thanks, Elena. I'm now on the bridge of the Coral Ocean, and I've been asked not to touch anything. Right, Captain Will? Please. No, it is what it is. I did learn that this boat has been around the world a few times, and it's recently underwent a $35 million refit for this 28-year-old yacht. That's all we have for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you can watch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloShows.com. You can follow us using @SoFlo Health to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. Until next week, it's goodbye and good health. Can I at least blow the horn, Captain Will? Yes. Next week, we're on a brief hiatus for Formula One. Join us November 20th when we return with developmental health classes for your kids. See you right back here in just 2 weeks.